Anna was at home, counting the minutes until Lucas returned. The atmosphere was marked by an unsettling silence, broken only by the ticking of the wall clock. The late afternoon light filtered through the curtains, creating dancing shadows on the floor. She felt trapped in an internal dilemma, an uncomfortable feeling she couldn't ignore. Lucas seemed increasingly distant. Maybe he's just overloaded with work, Anna thought, trying to calm her mind. But the past few weeks had been different. He frequently arrived later, with vague excuses that didn't convince her. The thought that he might be hiding something tormented her. Anna got up and started tidying up the living room, but the restlessness persisted. "What's happening to us?" she asked herself as she moved a vase of flowers to a more visible spot. As soon as the sun set, the door opened, and Lucas entered with a tired look and a forced smile. "Hi, love. Sorry I'm late," he said, dropping his backpack in a corner. Anna felt a chill in her stomach when she noticed that he didn't seem as happy as before. "Hi, Lucas. I was waiting for you. How was your day?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "Oh, you know how it is. Lots of rush at the office," he replied, avoiding her gaze. Anna frowned, noticing the evasiveness in his words. "I was thinking, you've been working a lot lately. Wouldn't it be good to take some time for us?" Anna suggested, hoping to rekindle the connection she felt was fading. Sure. Let's do something over the weekend. I promise," he replied, but the lack of enthusiasm in his voice worried her even more. Anna nodded, but inside, the doubt grew like a shadow. That night, during dinner, Anna sat at the table, watching Lucas as he toyed with his food without appetite. The atmosphere was dense, almost palpable. "Have you been feeling okay? You seem distant," she commented, trying to break the silence. "I'm fine, just tired," Lucas replied, but Anna noticed that he was avoiding the subject. "And about work? Any news?" Anna insisted, trying to find out if there was something more behind that facade. "Not much, just projects that are taking more time than I expected," Lucas said, with a tone indicating he didn't want to delve further. Anna bit her lip, feeling a knot forming in her stomach. The conversation was becoming a word game, and she didn't like how it made her feel. When dinner was over, Anna retreated to the living room, feeling like a stranger in her own home. The smell of his cologne, which once comforted her, now seemed suffocating. As she organized some things, her gaze fell on Lucas's jacket thrown on the sofa. Curiosity pushed her to check the pockets, an almost involuntary action. That's when she found the crumpled, forgotten hotel receipt. Anna's heart raced. The hotel's name and the date were clear. Reality hit her like a storm. He wasn't working late, she thought, her mind spiraling. Pain and confusion mixed, and she was paralyzed, holding the paper as if it were a bomb about to explode. "No, this can't be happening," she whispered as tears streamed down her face. That receipt was the confirmation of her worst suspicions. The world she knew began to crumble, and the only thing left was a painful question: what to do next? Anna's heart was racing. The afternoon light illuminated the living room, but it couldn't drive away the darkness accumulating in her mind. The hotel receipt was still in her hands, a piece of paper that had become a symbol of betrayal and distrust. She felt like a stranger in her own home, surrounded by memories of a love that seemed to have faded. When Lucas finally arrived, the air between them was thick with tension. "Hi, love," he said, trying to force a smile as he entered. But Anna couldn't reciprocate. She took a deep breath, gathering the courage to speak. "We need to talk," Anna said, her voice trembling but determined. Lucas frowned, his expression changing to a mix of confusion and concern. "About what?" He tried to appear carefree, but Anna noticed the unease in his eyes. "About this." She extended the receipt towards him. "Can you explain to me what this is?" Lucas looked at the paper, and for a moment his face paled. He tried to look away, but Anna wouldn't let him escape so easily. "Anna, this is a misunderstanding. I can't explain." "A misunderstanding?" she interrupted, anger starting to take over her being. "You were supposedly working late, Lucas. How is this a misunderstanding?" "I was at work. This receipt, it must be a mistake. I didn't go to that hotel." He insisted, but the confidence in his words was fading. Anna felt her heart tighten, vulnerability mixing with indignation. "You expect me to believe that?" she questioned, her voice now louder, full of emotion. "Don't you realize this destroys everything we've built together? I can't just ignore this." Lucas took a deep breath, his expression changing to one of desperation. Anna, please, I love you. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. You're everything to me. If I'm everything to you, how could you have betrayed me? The pain was evident in her tone, and tears began to form in her eyes. I feel so confused, Lucas. I don't know who to trust anymore. He moved closer, trying to take her hand, but she pulled away. No, I need answers. What's really going on? Lucas hesitated, seeming to struggle with his words. I can't tell you everything. It's work stuff, things you wouldn't understand. Just trust me. Trust you? Is that what you have to offer? I don't know if I can anymore, Anna said, her voice choked with emotion. She felt a mix of pain and anger, a whirlwind of emotions that left her dizzy. I can't go on like this, Lucas. I need clarity. The argument dragged on, and Anna, exhausted, decided she needed space to think. I need to leave for a while. I can't stay here right now, she said, quickly grabbing a jacket and leaving the house before Lucas could protest. The streets were busy, but Anna felt isolated. The corner cafe seemed like a refuge, a place where she could lose herself in her thoughts. As she entered, the aroma of fresh coffee and the soft murmur of conversations around her welcomed her like a warm embrace. She ordered a coffee and sat at a table in the corner, trying to organize her thoughts. As she watched people, her attention was drawn to a man nearby, immersed in a sketchbook. He had messy hair, a cotton shirt, and an aura of carefreeness that intrigued her. The artist seemed so focused on his work that Anna couldn't help but admire the intensity in his eyes. Are you an artist? Anna asked, breaking the silence. He looked up, surprised, and smiled. Yes, I do what I can. And you, what brings such a thoughtful soul to a cafe like this? His voice was soft, and Anna felt an inexplicable comfort in hearing it. I'm going through a tough time, she replied, hesitating about how much to share. My relationship is in crisis. Relationships are complicated, aren't they? Sometimes we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves again, he said, drawing lines in his sketchbook. Anna noticed that there was a depth to his words. Do you really believe that? Anna asked, intrigued. Definitely. Sometimes pain leads us to rediscover who we are, he replied, looking directly into her eyes. The intensity of that gaze seemed to illuminate something inside her that had dimmed. I'm Anna, by the way, she said, a hesitant smile forming on her face. Alex, he introduced himself, extending his hand. Nice to meet you, Anna. As they talked, Anna found herself laughing and feeling alive again. The worries about Lucas seemed distant, as if Alex had the ability to make time stand still. She didn't know what the future held, but in that moment there was a spark of hope in her heart. Anna was beginning to rediscover the joy of living alongside Alex. With each encounter, he enveloped her in a world of colors and sensations that she had forgotten. On a sunny afternoon, they decided to visit a contemporary art exhibition at a gallery in the city center. The place was full of visitors, all immersed in works that challenged perception and provoked reflection. As they walked among the vibrant paintings, Alex stopped in front of an abstract canvas that seemed to pulse with life. Look at this, Anna. The way the colors intertwine. It looks like they're dancing, he said, with a sparkle in his eyes. Anna smiled, admiring the way he allowed himself to be carried away by the art. It's true. I never realized how art could be so alive, she replied, feeling inspired by his perspective. You have a unique vision, Alex. It's as if you see beyond what's on the surface, Anna praised, and he smiled, a genuine smile that lit up his face. I just believe that art is an extension of ourselves, and you, Anna, have a lot to offer. Have you ever thought about painting again? He took her hand, as if wanting to pull her into that colorful world. Anna hesitated, recalling her old insecurities. I'm not sure I have that talent, Alex. It's been so long since I touched a brush. Talent is just the beginning. What matters is passion, and I see that in you, Alex replied, with a conviction that touched Anna's heart. She remembered how she used to spend hours painting, creating entire worlds on white canvases. Maybe I should try again, she said, feeling a flame of hope ignite within her. In the following days, the meetings with Alex became more frequent and intense. They explored not only the city, but also each other's interests. One afternoon, while walking through the park, Alex suggested they have a picnic. With a mischievous smile, he prepared a basket full of delights, and the two settled under the shade of a large tree. You know, Alex began as he bit into a sandwich. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes, the things that seem bad can lead us to new beginnings. Anna watched him, intrigued. Do you think this phase of my life could be a new beginning? She asked, her voice laden with insecurity. Absolutely. You're freeing yourself from something that doesn't do you any good. And that's powerful, Alex replied, looking into her eyes with sincerity. I admire your courage, Anna. It's not easy to leave behind what no longer serves us. She felt a wave of gratitude for being by his side, someone who encouraged her to be more than she was. Meanwhile, Lucas wasn't willing to give up. He began to notice the growing distance between him and Anna. One night, he decided to show up unexpectedly at her house with a bouquet of flowers in hand, trying to regain what he had lost. When Anna opened the door, his expression was a mix of determination and desperation. Anna, I'm so sorry. I realize I made a mistake. Can we talk? Lucas pleaded, his voice trembling. Anna hesitated. The scent of the flowers mixed with the aroma of her past pain. Lucas, I don't know if this is a good idea, she said, trying to remain calm. Please, just listen to me. I can change, I promise. I can't live without you, he said, his expression becoming more intense. Anna felt a tightness in her heart, but the memory of the lies and betrayal kept her from giving in. I need space. I need to think about all this, she replied, determined, but with a voice heavy with emotion. As she stepped away from the door, Anna realized that even with all the pain she carried, there was a light shining within her. She began to understand that life wasn't just about what she had lost, but about what she could still achieve. And with Alex by her side, she was ready to explore this new chapter, even though the shadow of Lucas still lingered in her mind. The kiss she and Alex had shared the night before reverberated in her memories, a symbol of freedom and a future yet to come. Anna looked at the brightly lit studio, the white walls stained with paint, and the blank canvases awaiting her. It was a space she had always wanted to have, but had set aside due to the obligations and stifling routine with Lucas. Now, with the decision to distance herself from him and focus on herself, she finally allowed herself to explore her passions. That morning, she had enrolled in painting classes. Her heart was pounding in her chest, a mix of anxiety and excitement for the new journey she was about to begin. Sitting at one of the studio tables, Anna looked around as other students settled in. The teacher, a woman with gray hair and bright eyes, entered and smiled. Welcome. Today, we're going to explore the watercolor technique. Painting is a way to express yourself, to release emotions. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, she said, with an encouraging tone. Anna felt a wave of hope. This was exactly what she needed, a space where she could be authentic, away from Lucas's shadows. The class unfolded amidst laughter and experimentation, and for the first time in a long time, Anna felt alive. The colors danced in the water, and she allowed herself to be carried away by the fluidity of the watercolor, forgetting, for a few moments, the pains of the past. Meanwhile, Lucas, noticing the abrupt change in Anna's routine, began to feel increasingly threatened. He couldn't bear the thought of her distancing herself from him, especially by getting involved with Alex, the artist who had entered her life like a whirlwind. On a sunny afternoon, he decided to confront her. Anna, we need to talk, he said with an authoritative tone when he found her at home, busy with her paints. She hesitated, but decided to face the situation. I have nothing to say, Lucas. I'm busy, she replied, not taking her eyes off the canvas she was painting. Lucas advanced, placing his hands on the table, almost knocking over the paints. You're being ungrateful. I've always been there for you. Now you see this new friendship as a way to push me aside? His voice was full of anger. Anna took a deep breath, feeling the pressure increase. It's not about you, Lucas. It's about me. I'm trying to find myself. So you're saying I'm the problem? He asked, a look of hurt on his face. No, but you're not helping. I need space to discover who I am, Anna replied, determined not to be shaken. Lucas's anger turned into a mix of manipulation and helplessness. He tried to approach, but she took a step back, reaffirming her space. You can't just change your life and leave everything we've built behind, he insisted, his voice now softer, as if trying to touch her heart. What we built is not something I want anymore. You're not good for me, Lucas, Anna proclaimed, firmly, feeling strength grow within her. Lucas was silent, his eyes lost in dark thoughts. Anna realized he was about to try one last trick, but instead of feeling intimidated, she felt empowered. Alex had become an anchor in her life, an example of freedom and creativity, and she wasn't willing to go back. In the following days, Anna delved deeper into her classes and conversations with Alex. The artist inspired her with each encounter, and his words echoed in her mind. "You deserve to be happy, Anna. Don't let anyone dim your light," he told her one afternoon as they walked through a park. These words resonated like a mantra, and Anna knew she was making the right decision. Her life was changing, and she was determined to fight for her emotional freedom. With each brushstroke, each conversation with Alex, the pain of Lucas's betrayal seemed to dissipate, as if the watercolor was washing away the scars on her heart. She was ready to face whatever came her way, empowered by her new life and the friendship blossoming with Alex. Freedom was within her reach, and she had no intention of letting Lucas imprison her again. Anna was sitting on one of the park benches, her gaze lost in the dry leaves dancing in the wind. The gentle breeze made her hair flutter, but her mind was far from that peaceful moment. The weight of her recent decision still tormented her. Beside her, Alex watched her closely, noticing the storm of emotions unfolding inside her. He knew this was a crucial moment for Anna, a turning point. "Anna, you don't have to go through this alone," said Alex, his voice soft but firm. "Talking about what happened might help." Anna took a deep breath, trying to gather the courage. It was hard to open her heart, but Alex's presence was comforting. He made her feel that even amidst the pain, there was room for hope. I don't know where to start," she confessed, looking at the ground. "Lucas, he was always my safe harbor, but now everything feels so confusing. I feel betrayed, deceived." Alex leaned in closer, his expression one of deep understanding. "What he did doesn't define who you are. You deserve more than living in the shadow of someone who doesn't value you." Anna felt a wave of emotion. Alex's words touched her in a way she didn't imagine possible. He was right. Lucas had been a part of her life, but Anna was much more than that relationship. "I know I need to end it," she said, finally finding strength in her voice. "But I'm scared. What if I can't move on? What if I regret it?" "Regret comes from not acting, Anna. You can't let fear hold you back. Think of everything you've been through. You're strong, and I'll be here to support you," Alex replied, his gaze fixed on hers, full of sincerity. Anna smiled, feeling lighter. There was something in Alex's presence that encouraged her to be true to herself. She took another deep breath, and with a spark of determination in her eyes, said, "I'm going to end it. I can't live this lie anymore." Her heart was pounding as she thought about what she was about to do. The idea of facing Lucas was terrifying, but the freedom she glimpsed was even more alluring. That night, when Lucas arrived home, Anna was already determined. The living room was lit only by the soft light of the lamp in the corner, creating an almost magical atmosphere, although the tension in the air was palpable. Lucas greeted her with a casual smile, but Anna knew it was time to confront him. "Lucas, we need to talk," she began, her voice firm but trembling. Lucas's expression changed instantly. "What happened? Why do you look so worried?" "I found the hotel receipt," Anna said, watching his expression close off. "Oh, that again?" Lucas laughed nervously, trying to change the subject. "It's just a misunderstanding, Anna." "No, it's not," she replied, cutting him off. "I can't ignore this. I know you cheated on me." Anger took over Lucas's face. "You can't just believe rumors. I've always been honest with you." "Honest?" Anna laughed, but it wasn't a laugh of happiness. "How can you be honest if you hid this from me? I'm tired of this situation. The truth is, I can't live like this anymore." Lucas moved closer, but Anna took a step back, her voice firm. "I want to break up. I'm leaving you." Lucas's expression went from anger to disbelief. "Are you serious? You're going to throw all this away?" "I'm not throwing anything away," Anna replied, now with tears in her eyes, but determined. "I'm setting myself free." The silence that followed was heavy. Lucas looked at Anna, and something in her gaze made him realize there was no going back. "You're going to regret this, Anna." The threat in his voice was clear, but Anna wasn't intimidated. "No, Lucas. What I'll really regret is if I don't walk away from you," she finished, feeling a wave of relief as she freed herself from that toxic relationship. As Anna walked away, her heart still racing, she knew she had taken an important step. Life was full of uncertainties, but at least now there was the possibility of a new beginning. The emotional freedom she had longed for was finally within her reach. The night of the art exhibition was full of lights and smiles. The space, a cozy gallery in the city center, pulsed with the contagious energy of people appreciating art and, most importantly, Anna's transformation. The white walls were adorned with her vibrant paintings, each reflecting a fragment of her emotional journey. The vivid colors and expressive strokes captured the pain, the overcoming, and above all, the freedom she was finally beginning to experience. She could feel Alex's support beside her, his presence like a beacon lighting her way. "You look amazing, Anna. Your works speak for themselves," said Alex with a broad smile that conveyed his admiration. He held a glass of wine, and his eyes sparkled as he contemplated the exhibition. "Thank you, Alex. I never thought I would have the courage to show this to the world," Anna replied, her heart pounding. She looked at the people gathering around her paintings, commenting and admiring every detail. The feeling of belonging to a creative community was new to her and made her feel alive. As the night went on, a festive atmosphere took over the place, with laughter and lively conversations. Anna was radiant, surrounded by friends and new acquaintances, all celebrating her courage. But suddenly, the gallery door burst open, and Lucas appeared at the threshold, his presence heavy and unwanted. The mood instantly changed, the murmurs ceased, and all eyes turned to him. "Anna," Lucas called, his voice resonating with a mix of anger and despair. "What are you doing here? You can't just leave me like this." Anna felt her stomach churn. The tension in the air was palpable, and she saw Alex position himself by her side, like a protective shield. "Lucas, it's not what you think. I'm here to express myself, to live my truth," Anna replied, trying to stay calm. "Live your truth? You're letting this guy manipulate you." Lucas gestured towards Alex, his gaze a mix of jealousy and contempt. "You don't know what you're doing, Anna. This life you've chosen now isn't the real you." Anna took a deep breath, feeling the anger and pain building up inside her. "The real me is the one here now. The one who isn't afraid to expose herself and show who I really am," she retorted, her voice rising, full of determination. Alex, sensing the growing tension, turned to Lucas and said, "She doesn't need you to be happy. You no longer have control over her life." Alex's words were firm, an invitation to Anna to free herself from any shadow Lucas still cast over her. "You don't understand, do you? I'm the reason she's like this. I'm the one who truly loved her," Lucas shouted, his desperate tone echoing through the gallery. Anna, now filled with courage, decided it was time to end that cycle of pain. "Enough, Lucas. You don't love me. You manipulated and lied to me. Look at this, everyone." With a decisive gesture, she pulled out the hotel receipt she had kept and held it up for everyone to see. "This is who you really are, Lucas, a traitor," Anna shouted, her voice as sharp as a blade. The people around them began to murmur, some with expressions of shock, others with disapproval. Lucas stood paralyzed, his face red with shame and anger. "You can't do this. You can't expose me like this." He looked around, realizing that the empathy he used to receive had now turned into reproach. "I can and I will, because this is my truth, the truth I finally accepted. From today, I choose to be free," Anna declared, her voice echoing in the silence. At that moment, she felt Alex's arm around her, a gesture of support that made her feel unshakable. The applause began to sound, first hesitant, then in warm applause. Anna smiled, her heart light and full of hope. Lucas, isolated and ashamed, turned and left the gallery, defeat written on his face. Anna watched as he disappeared into the night, feeling stronger than ever. She had freed herself from her emotional chains and was ready to embrace a new beginning alongside Alex, who looked at her with admiration and affection. "You did it, Anna. I'm so proud of you," he said, holding her hands. And at that moment, Anna knew she had found not only freedom, but also the opportunity to love herself and others in a genuine and true way. Now that you've heard this intriguing story, think, how many times have you ignored clear signs that something was wrong out of fear of facing the truth? The lesson here is that behind appearances, there may be hidden truths that need to be uncovered. Don't forget to pay attention to the details and question what seems right. And if this story made you reflect, take advantage and click on the video that is now appearing on your screen. This is, in my opinion, one of the best stories I've ever told. And if you liked what you just heard, you'll undoubtedly love this other story as well. So, subscribe to the channel, click on the video that's on your screen now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.